You have, at several places in your book, quoted Aisha Jalal and her work, Partisans of Allah. So, in that work, she has tried to argue that the normal definition of jihad as a war against unbelievers is a misinterpretation of the clerics. So, how far do you align with that position? What's your take
So
on
here's
it?
what I have done. I have used let's say most of these sources primarily for factual references, not for opinion-based references. Because I don't think I would want to assume that I know better about Islam than Shah Waliullah Dehlavi, who's been celebrated by so many people. I don't want to believe that I know Islam better than the founders of Deoband. I'm sure they know better. I don't want to sit and operate under the belief or this delusion that an untrained opinion is more qualified to speak on behalf of a particular community than a trained scholar who's chosen to dedicate his entire life to the, let's say, to the practice of that particular faith, to the understanding of that particular faith. I don't want to do that. So that's one aspect of it. So therefore, whether it's Aisha Jalal or Barbara Metcalfe or any of these people who have relied upon in the book, I've used them for factual references. So if you take a look at the footnotes, where there is a fact, there is a footnote, by and large. But where there is an opinion, I am drawing my inferences based on the conduct and the material. Unless I'm saying, well, somebody else also agrees with me for so and so reasons. So that's the first level of the response. Second, let's apply the very same logic in the context of the Varnashram system and the so-called caste system. Assume for a moment someone wants to tell you that this is not the manner in which the system was created in the first place. This is not the manner in which the system was intended to operate in the first place. आप जितना भी लॉजिक या तर्क खड़ा करने की कोशिश कीजिए, लेकिन आपके सामने सिर्फ पहले फैक्ट आएगा. So you're bound to ask yourself, no matter what you say, does the reality on the ground meet your explanation? Your only argument can be, the reality on the ground has moved far away from its original intent. However, that argument cannot be applied in the context of jihad, because this has been the consistent implementation from the 8th century onwards at the very least. Anyone who is given an opinion to the contrary is an exception. And every time someone points out an exception, he is only strengthening the existence of the rule. Because that means एक कायदा है जिससे आप थोड़ा हटके जा रहे हैं, लेकिन अगर आप departure या digression की बात करेंगे, that means you are basically saying there is an average, there is a median, and there is a rule. So as far as I am concerned, I am not interested in doing a BKK exercise, बाल की खाल खींचना exercise, as far as jihad is concerned. I am going to look at it only from an effect point of view and an impact point of view, as a survivor of a community who has witnessed this and experienced this for generations together. Now I would like to see कितने फतवे ऐसे जारी हुए हैं and कितने लोग ऐसे फतवों को मानते हैं और उस पे अमल करते हैं. So you have this gentleman Mehdi Hasan in his so-called Oxford debate, who constantly spoke of how many fatwas were issued by others condemning this attack, condemning that attack. The point is, which of the two fatwas seems to carry more weight and application among the members of the community? Will the non-compliance of one particular fatwa have more impact than the other, or more repercussions than the other? That's the only question. जिस फतवे से आपको डर नहीं है, उस फतवे का रहना या ना रहना कोई, doesn't make a difference to me. So I am not interested in, let's say this remote interpretation or obscure interpretation. At every point of time, almost in every century, the interpretation as well as the application, namely the thought as well as the deed with respect to jihad, has been violent in nature. And therefore, in the interest of self-preservation, as an individual as well as a community, I have the right to assume that I'm sorry, I will go with the worst case scenario because I need to prepare for it, as opposed to drawing comfort from the other interpretation which is peaceful. Next.
Thank you, sir.